Hey guys, welcome back. DeFi, degens, drip, and farm for property. I'm your host, Drip Coach, dropping knowledge bombs on all Forex Shark related projects. And today's video, we're going to be examining basically how drip has been affected and since the farm launched, and have we indeed found the bottom of drip? And we're going to be looking at some data that could very well indicate that this is the drip bottom. Now, again, this is all just kind of speculation based off of some numbers, but I did find this very interesting and wanted to bring that to you guys' attention. So let's dive straight into the numbers as always, because that's where I get my information from. Now, we all know that since the farm launch, actually before the farm's launch, since the introduction of the first idea of the animal farm after the manor farm, drip has been kind of taking a beating, and we have seen it continually go down from all-time highs. Now, any of you that have been watching my channel for any period of time or been in drip for any period of time are no stranger to this. So we have seen this basically from $200 down to $1.40. For some odd reason, this just switched over to percentages. But anyway, there we go. So you are no stranger to this. And the question posed, and kind of what I brought up in one of my previous videos, was, yeah, how low can drip go? And when I was looking at just the sell pressure by itself, basically the bleeding doesn't stop, right? More sells than buys, and it just continues to trend downward. However, because of the animal farm, because of the different liquidity pools that we have within drip, there's a better chance of stability. Basically, remember, you have the reservoir for stability. You have now the drip BUSD farm over here on the animal farm. You have the drip garden that has liquidity locked into it as well. So all of these add stability to drip because it just basically makes the liquidity pool bigger, even though we would like to have seen only 1 million drip that we had initially. The fact that we now have 4 million and still 1.6 of that is in wallets, that means the other 2.6 is actually providing liquidity for drip. So the more drip tokens out there in circulation being paired up, especially with BUSD, is what I'm talking about today, that actually creates a more resilient liquidity floor, because the more money you have in a token, then the harder it is to manipulate the token or have significant price swings whenever there are sells. So that's the silver lining to all this. So let's take a look at the numbers that I was referring to. So when I ran this initially with the one when I was talking about the 10 cents, it was just basically looking at the total supply, the circulating supply, and the amount of sells per day and what would happen with just the sells. But the other piece of the equation is, where are all those cells going? Are they actually leaving the ecosystem, or are they actually being circulated into other areas? And that's what I want to explore here today. So if we look specifically at the day of the farm launch, the total supply that we had was 3.2 million. And then now, as of this video, I'm recording it on 6th December, we have basically increased that almost 1 million in 36 days, right? So that's about 24,000 drip per day being created in the total supply. Now, if all of that was being sold at today's prices, that's about $36,000. So it's like, the idea would be, okay, we're losing $36,000 a day. That's clearly not sustainable. However, remember, it's only the circulating supply that actually affects the price of drip. So when we look at that number, we see that it's only been about 8,000 per day at about $12,000. That's still a significant amount. Nobody wants to see that. But the question is, where is that going? Is it leaving the ecosystem? And luckily, the blockchain can tell us all that, right? So when we zoom out, though, to find out exactly how it's been affected since our initial 1 million cap got broken, we see that it's actually been about 16,000 per day in the total supply. I didn't have the actual circulating supply here, but I wanted to use this number because this is the worst case scenario, whereas the circulating supply would have gone up and down since 2 July due to buybacks. So it's easier for me to use this number. And that is, again, like I said, worst case scenario, because it doesn't factor in any of the buys that are actually happening during this period. So this is saying that 16,000 drips since 2 June is being minted per day, and that's cost at today's cost about $24,976. Now remember, we have 2 different places to store drip. So the question is, where is that 16,651 drip per day going, especially if we continue in this trend? What has the charts and the analytics said about that amount of money? So we can look over at the, which farm is this? This is the total supply, right? So this is the, correction, this is the circulating supply. So this is the contract balance, 749,000. So we can see that that has indeed gone up, and that would be the sales that we're referring to. But we can also look over here at the pancake swap DEX. So there's 1.7 million drip in pancake swap, and this shows you when this got started. You know, when Forex first created the liquidity for it on the pancake swap side, and then the actual amount getting injected. And then as the arbitrage opportunities got created, you see that pancake swap has actually gotten a lot of drip added. So 1.7 million drip over on pancake swap. So more than twice as much on pancake swap than what we have in our native DEX. So that's what I mean by we can see some of this amount of tokens that were minted did indeed move over to pancake swap. Just a quick message, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss another video. This helps bring brand awareness to the channel as well as all Forex Shark related projects. Thank you. All right, so we can see what happened with the drip BUSD pancake swap liquidity. I picked 16 March because that's when the liquidity started to kind of stabilize. This dates back here. I don't think Forex actually did injections. I think this might have been independent people adding liquidity on their own, creating the actual pool. But once we got up here, I believe this is where Forex made the injection, and we never went below that. So it's just a good number to start off with for this calculation. So 16 March at 350,000, and as of today, 1.7 million, like I said. So if we divide that, it's basically about 5,000 drip per day being added to the pancake swap liquidity pool, and again hardening the price floor of drip, and that's at a rate of about $7,620 per day. So the question again is, how do we know we found the bottom, or how can this data help us understand if the bottom is in for drip, or how much lower can we go, or whatever the case may be? Well, then we need to look at the other place where liquidity is being added, and that's over on the drip BUSD farm, right? So again, we can look at the contract over on BSC scan, and we know this is the right contract, one, because it's listed in the Telegram, but also we see here on 1 November, that's where it starts, and there are 636,000 LPs, and it's just gone up and to the right with LPs being added. So again, we want to look at, well, how much is being added to those that farm, right? And again, take that number from that number, and you get the LPs per day being added to that contract or staking contract on that farm, and that comes out to a BUSD value of $11,000. So hopefully you can follow my logic here. So far since 2 June, we have seen a decrease, or an amount of about 25K being created in drip tokens, right? We don't know where they're going until we start to look at these other locations. So right now we can look and see between these two, we have about $18,000. That's what I show right here, right? So total amount migrated is what that stands for. And all I'm doing is adding up this 11,000 and this 7,000, right? But there is still a difference of about $6,331 per day. Again, this is not concrete numbers, doesn't take into effect people that may be putting it in their wallet and holding it, other stuff like that, or even selling it and then putting it into pigs. So I'm not looking at pigs or dogs or any other assets that could be going up on the farm, because we do know, if we look at the farm, that the farm TVL has increased from 98 million when it launched all the way now to 160 million. So it would be safe to assume that even some of these sales that I'm saying adds about 6,000 per day, some of those are probably going into pigs and dogs and things of that nature. And some, of course, taking profits leaving the system. So 6,000 a day is a significant chunk of change, of course, but that's where I feel the sustainability or the bare minimum for drip is coming to a head, because this amount is also being kind of eaten up or bought, not every day, but you see these big buy alerts of 9,000 and coming into the faucet, and it's not every day, but it's definitely frequently enough to where it can have a significant effect on the price and pull it back into that range. So I feel, based off of these numbers and seeing about $6,000 that is unaccounted for, but a portion of that could be accounted for in, like I said, the different parts of the animal farm ecosystem, because it's clear to see that this TVL has been growing dramatically. So I would say be conservative, 50% is coming back into the farm. So that means we're looking at maybe $3,000 to $4,000 a day. And that is definitely able to be sustained, keeping us in these prices due to the people making these purchases on the sideline. So granted, if nobody was buying drip as it dropped, then of course we could see those numbers I talked about before. But it's a lot more stable due to the amount of liquidity that we've added into different locations and the buy pressure coming in from people on the sidelines with large amounts of capital, like $8,000, $6,000, $15,000. So this makes a big difference, even though it's not happening every day, because as I just mentioned, it's only a little bit per day that could possibly be leaving the system. So to wrap this all up, my hypothesis would be that if we can maintain this $1.40 to I don't know, 160, we'll just call it 125 to 175. I like those numbers better. If we can maintain that range through the end of December and into the first week of January, then I would say we definitely have found the floor, because I believe still there might be some sales exceeding the buy pressure as we go into the holidays, and there's a lot less capital. We also have the fear of the macro market going lower and stuff like that. So there's still a lot of other factors out there, but provided we hold this through the middle of January and BNB continues to bounce around, basically around the $300 range, and it doesn't drop any lower, then yeah, I would say the bottom is in. So all that being said, this is a great opportunity. If you believe in these assets and believe in the future of drip, it is indeed a great opportunity to dollar cost average your position. I am personally just continuing to hydrate. I don't have any dry powder on the sidelines, and I'm taking profits responsibly, holding them in my wallet in the BUSD stable farm. And any extra that I have in there that I don't need to pay bills monthly, then I'm just going to be buying pigs with. That's just my personal strategy, not financial advice, of course. But that just goes to show again that even though I'm quote unquote claiming and selling, it's still sitting here in the farm. And whenever I put money into here, even though it came from drip, it does get taxed here. And then those taxes go back to the pig pen stakers, right? So and when I sell my dogs, eventually those go to the dog holders. So it is creating a very robust ecosystem and solidifying drip in that regard, finding a price floor. So I am definitely hopeful for when we get the focus back on drip and the drip bull run comes back, that we will have a floor to bounce off of, albeit not the $5 floor I would like to see, but 125 to 175 seems pretty likely to me. That's my low I'll be calling for, provided everything lines up by, like I said, the middle of January. So we'll have to see how the holidays shake up for that. But again, the proof is in the pudding, in my opinion, looking at these numbers, seeing this amount of liquidity that is potentially leaving on a daily basis. But we know based on the TVL, let me see something real quick. So I decided to pause it real quick and just take a look at how much has been added per day in TVL. So this is the Animal Farm TVL roughly, because I remember it was 98 million. I looked at Driptopian stream, and right now about 160. So that's $1.7 million per day being added into the Animal Farm. Now some of that's coming in appreciation of the dog token, and appreciation of other assets on the farm. So it's not all assets coming from externally, but the entire value of the farm is appreciating. So you can see that this clearly eclipses this. So like I showed you guys previously, when I showed you guys this previously here, and it looks like I was completely wrong. 68 million is what it started with. Either way, you can see it's gone up substantially. But step one is the TVL, or step two is the TVL increases. And then step three, that means more dividends for the pig pen stayouts. Then the pig's token value goes up. Then the dog farm pools go up. That means the dog token goes up. That means drip BUSD farm becomes more attractive because it's a better farm. So we are literally doing exactly what I've laid out here, and eventually that will have an effect on drip. So us having a floor on drip, like I said, between $1, 1.25 to 175 or something like that, through the middle of the January. I'm just calling January because I think by then we should get back to focusing on drip, and scratchy pre-sale allocation should be done. So I'm looking for bullish catalyst by the end of January, so we can hold the floor by then we should be able to take off. And I see the farm value continuing to increase a bit by then as well. There will be some sell-offs with the dog token around the end of this month and the middle of January, but either way, we're heading in the right direction, starting with 68 million in liquidity and now up to 100 million more almost. So anyway, that was a lot of rambling going different places, but all of that just to say that I think we found the drip price floor, and we will see how this hypothesis plays out, but at least you know where I got the numbers from. All right, until next time, I was gonna say lift daily and achieve your possible, but first, smash that HBO special. And you know the drill. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Then lift daily and achieve your impossible. See ya.